Cindy Cortez and her husband own the coffee shop where the liberal ladies meet. They moved from Nashville to Mount Juliet 2 years ago and are Trump supporters.
There's something that in these kind of suburbia Nashville that we really hold dear, and that's our love for God at first, and then our love for family, and then our love for country.
Luis Cortez cannot vote. His parents crossed illegally from Mexico when he was a child. They were deported when Luis was 17. He was allowed to stay.
I was part of the program that President Obama started with the DACA.
Luis has permanent resident status now and hopes to one day become a citizen.
Is your daughter graduating yet?
Cindy voted for Obama, then Hillary Clinton, but Trump in 2020 and 2024 because she says being a parent and owning a business have made her more conservative. Tariffs on coffee and paper goods hurt their bottom line, but they say Trump deserves more time for things to settle. Both like the president's crackdown on illegal crossings, but aggressive deportation roundups give them pause.
The means at which we're getting there is difficult, is not comfortable to watch, and it's definitely affected Latin American communities.
Cindy's 2026 thinking is important. She voted for Republican Andy Ogles in 2024, but hopes he loses in the GOP primary next year.
I can't put a vote for a candidate that I just don't feel just embodies the values that matter to us. And a strong character and honest character is important.
And if Ogles wins the primary?
I'm not opposed to voting for a Democratic candidate. Okay.
Parnassus Books is in the 5th District slice of Nashville. Lisa Quigley lives a few miles away in the 7th District piece of the city. She was chief of staff to the last Democrat to represent Nashville when it was all one district. He was a centrist, and Quigley's experience tells her moderates have a better shot in the suburbs and the rural counties. But the surge of energy among progressives in the special election was eye-opening.
And when they turned to see who our nominee was, it was somebody who was fighting, who was talking about affordability, who was very aggressive, and voters here like that.
Quigley says the new Democratic energy here is real and predicts crowded primaries for the House seats. Yes, that just about guarantees tension between Democratic liberals and moderates. But Quigley believes at least 2 of the 3 House seats can be competitive. You think there's something in the water?
There's something happening. There's something happening. And so as long as we are smart enough to put our best players on the field, I think we're going to be able to take advantage of that. And I think that next November is going to be a big year for us.
Country and Western go together here. Democrats and optimism usually do not. So it may turn out to be all hat, no cattle. But at the moment, Democrats see a chance for a Music City comeback. John King, CNN.
You know what's crazy, man? When it comes down to principles, a lot of people go against what Trump is doing because they know he's a loudmouth. They know that he's offensive when he talks. And they get really emotional about how he talks, right? Now, I'm going to just be clear with you. Working in sales for 5 years, I became bulletproof and I grew thicker skin with how people communicate, because you have to be a great communicator yourself in order for your message to get across, and let alone have people want to believe in your idea. So I can understand how people, get offended by what Trump says. Let alone what he does, but what he says and how he says it. But as we heard, there was a business owner in the first segment, and they talked about how she owned a business and she supported Trump because how she was going to benefit as a business owner. A lot of people look at Trump and say, oh, well, he's gone bankrupt so many times. And a lot of y'all haven't started businesses, have you? Because you fail in business. You have to get back up in business. Entrepreneurs fail all the time. It's not about failing. It's about how much tenacity you have in order to find a solution. Failure is a part of the process. Now, if we're talking political views and her shop, and based off of their lifestyle and her partner, I don't know if that was her husband or her work partner or whatnot, but the gentleman's family were, illegal immigrants and brought him over, and he's a citizen now. They even said they got deported. I made a deportation video of, not a deportation video, but an ICE video of a lady who was protesting ICE, trying to stop them, and ended up getting a gun pointed at her. I'm going to just say this, and just say it one time. If someone's doing something illegal, they need to be removed from the public. Because not only are you endangering the people who are legal citizens, but you're here illegally. And there's a right and wrong way to do things like this, but what I will say is, if we go over there and do the same thing in their country, there's going to be consequences. There just is. And so, obviously, criminals, people who are doing things illegal, are not going to raise their hand like they're in class and say, hey, I'm right here, I'm turning myself in. So, how else do you pick these people out? And yes, it's unfortunate that innocent people are being asked and profiled. It's sad. And a lot of people are against it. They're like, oh, they don't have a right to ask. Well, the last time I checked, if I am innocent, I'm definitely going to prove that I'm innocent. I have no problem proving that I'm innocent. I'm not going to fight somebody because I think that they shouldn't ask. I'm like, bro, I'm innocent, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? I got my documents. I've heard plenty from the demographic of people who have been identified as illegals or people who are legal citizens, explain that they don't have a problem showing and revealing that they are legal citizens. But you're always going to have people who rebel. And you always hear from people who aren't even a part of that equation, causing more turmoil than what it is. There's so much going on right now. Deportation, tax fraud, ICE, tariffs. You can't just literally look at tariffs and say, well, you know what? I'm not voting Trump because it's tariffs. You know what? I don't like what's going on with deportation, so I'm not going to vote for Trump. Like, listen, if somebody was living illegally on your home, you probably want them removed, right? Because they're not supposed to be there. If someone was charging you more money to receive the same product and you're not charging them more money, you'd probably want to at least come out even. At least come out even. People are offended by that. It's insane to me how people let their emotions dictate their decisions. You even heard the ladies talking about how I feel, how Trump feels about the situation. You know, I could see myself voting Democrat. How you feel? Let's remove our emotions before we make a decision. See, I live by principles. I like to put things into different perspective and look through different lenses because they allow me to make a clear decision, look at both sides, and make a confident decision, not an emotional decision. Emotions are wavy. Emotions change. Let me know what your thoughts of this in the comment section down below. I do think we got to give Trump time, even though there's a ton of turmoil right now. But whenever you change something, there's always going to be a lot of turmoil. There was turmoil when it was damn Jim Crow laws and stuff, riots and fights, and it was crazy, man. We don't even have to live in those times to know they was crazy. Times were changing. They're changing right now as well, and it's only going to be a war between the have and have-nots, the wealthy and the poor. There is no such thing as the middle class. That's what I believe about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you like the content. Let's get it.